Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Polygon Matic. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now let's get straight into the TA. Jumping into the daily chart, obviously we have our Fibonacci retracement with the swing high we printed December 25th, 2021, and the swing low we printed in June of 2022. And look at Polygon Matic holding strong with the markets having a terrible pullback. Polygon Matic isn't even back in the support block that we have here. The last time we retested that was back in October, and before that back in September multiple times. But I really thought Polygon Matic would drop below 70 cents here, but it's holding very strong, and I'm very surprised. And this is quite good, shows strength, shows that there are not a lot of sellers, and that's good for the future of the project. Now, the immediate support block that I'm talking about is anywhere between 76 cents and 69 cents. So if we dip our toes back into this area, this is going to be a very good buying opportunity for those of you who don't have any Matic, and for those of you who don't have enough Matic, right? But if you got a good chunk of Matic and your average buy-in price is somewhere around 50 to 40 cents, I would say it's probably smarter to wait a bit or buy other altcoins, because as you can see, the June low is all the way down here. We're still quite up from the June low, more than 2x, and some altcoins are way back down below their June low, so they're very cheap in comparison to the to Matic. So I think if you have a lot of Matic right now, and you don't really have a lot of incentive to dollar cost average into it until it starts dropping back down. And I do think we're going to come back and see Polygon Matic at 60, maybe below 60 cents at some point, because we still have quite a long time to go until the next FOMC meeting that's going to be happening in February. So we may have the interest rates hiked up once again in February and then once again in March, and maybe they're going to stop the hikes in May, and we're going to see the interest rates cuts starting the end of 2023 and maybe early 2024. So until spring, I think we have time to dollar cost average, and I think until then anything can happen, and we can still even print a lower low on Bitcoin. But until Bitcoin breaks the August high, I think altcoins are going to be going up and down and all over the place, and I think we're going to have a lot of good buying opportunities. This is definitely a good buying opportunity, but not for me in terms of Polygon Matic. All the other altcoins are great, but Polygon Matic for me right now is still too expensive. This support block I would maybe consider, but like I said, a lot of other juicy options at the moment. Now, what I would actually be picking up is 61 cents here. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good buying area, because we do have a couple of highs in June and in July that we got rejected from off of 61 cents. So that's a good area for us to back test as support. And for those of you who don't know, my average buy-in price is around 44 cents. So that's where my average buy-in price is. And as you can see, buying here isn't really something that I necessarily have to do. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And below that, we obviously have the 0.236, which is at 53 cents. Then we have the other yellow support trend line, which is at 46.5 cents. And then obviously we have our swing low at 31.5 cents, and that's basically our hopefully bear market low for Polygon Matic. Really, I would love for Polygon to retest these prices once again. I'd be buying a lot of Matic at that point, but I don't see it happening currently. Okay, now jumping into the daily RSI, let's see what's going on here. So what happened here is we lost our multi-month support trend line here, not trend line, but support block. And as you can see, every time you had a bounce off of that block, you had to move to the upside. So the first one was in May, then we had a couple of bounces in June, the next bounce was in September, the next bounce was in November, then November again, then November once again, then December, and then we couldn't bounce quite up, and then we just had this capitulation. So for now, what I would be looking for on the daily chart is the retest of this large pink trend line, because we broke above it here in October 2022 and we haven't seen the back test of support, and that is something that could come. So if you see the RSI do something like this, maybe we're going to see a little relief rally here. We're going to come back up and retest the support block as resistance, and then we could have another move to the downside, eventually bouncing off the previous resistance trend line as support, and that's going to be our next low. I don't know if that's going to be a lower low or a higher low in terms of the price action, but on the RSI, this would be an excellent entry point. So that's also an important level to have in mind. Now, as you can see, we are also expecting a potential bounce off of this low here. As you can see, we printed a low back in September, so this yellow trend line could also hold us as support. Let me remove this trend line and just place a shorter one, just so it's easier. There we go. So that trend line could hold us as support. Be on the lookout for that. If you really want to enter Matic at 35 on the RSI, that's a good buying opportunity. Now, I do want to switch over to the Binance website. And before we continue, I quickly want to ask you, do you value your privacy? If the answer is yes, then you must take a look at ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN offers you the privacy that you deserve, no activity logs and no connection logs. Your internet provider won't be able to access anything, and anyone using the same open free Wi-Fi in the cafe as you won't be able to do any harm or breach your security. You can use the ExpressVPN application on any device. You can connect it to your PlayStation, or you can even connect it to your router so that anyone who connects is automatically secured. Or if you're looking to access any region-blocked content on your streaming platform, well, ExpressVPN can do that as well. If you're living in the Netherlands and you want to access a TV show that's only available in Japan, well, my friend, you can do that with ExpressVPN. You can use the link down below in the description and get a discounted price along with 3 extra months for free. You can get your money back if you don't like it, but I don't see any reason why you wouldn't like it, because we all need the privacy, and in today's age especially. And you can also pay with Bitcoin, so that's a really cool feature as well. And let's get on with the video. Taking a look at the weekly chart, as you can see, not a lot of stuff going on here, so not a lot to cover really. Polygon Matic's just been going sideways for the past month, and like I said, you have the yellow support trend line below that we covered in the past videos at 74 cents. We had a bounce there in September. Potentially could see another retest, also a retest of the resistance of the falling wedge that we broke out of. That could be a nice entry point. So if we potentially lose the yellow trend line, you could potentially come back down and retest that as support and then continue on, right? Maybe you even go in this downward slope and retest the June 2022 low, and you have the move to the upside and you print this beautiful double bottom pattern. However, I think in that case, Bitcoin would need to go back to $13,000, $12,000 in my opinion, right? I could be wrong, but that's what I think. So let's bring back the Fibonacci retracement. So based on the Fibonacci retracement, let's see what we have here. So we have our highs in October and the swing low in September. And currently we're holding the 786. The 786 is being held like a boss, that 79 cent area. As you can see, ever since October, we've been holding it like a boss. So if we start coming back down, your good entry point, another good entry point here would be 69 cents. Because that's the low that we printed in September. And obviously you never have round numbers in your buy limit orders. So you set up a limit order slightly above the support over here. Let's say you put it at 69.5 or 69.4, just so you don't have 69.00 in the buy order, because a lot of people are going to have this same Fibonacci retracement, right? And they're going to have that exact same level. And if a bunch of people pile in on this one level, right, a lot of them are going to get filled up, but you may not get filled up yourself, and the price is going to reverse. Your order is not going to get filled, and you're going to be waiting and buying at these higher prices here. So to avoid that, you just have the buy order slightly above, so that when the price comes back down, your order is basically going to get filled. Even if it goes to your support and slightly lower, doesn't matter. What matters is your order has been filled. That's what people do to make sure the price reverses as early as possible without, picking up all of these people, because they're going to end up piling in over here and pushing the price even further by buying at the top. So that's how it works. And taking a look at the weekly RSI, as you can see, we do have a couple of major resistance trend lines here to look out for. So obviously the first one is this light yellow trend line that we've retested in December of 2021 and in October of 2022. The next touch could be maybe sometime in January or February if we have a relief rally. Also look out for the light blue trend line as support, and then you have this dark yellow resistance trend line that we have retested in October of 2021 and in August of 2021. So that's something that we may retest as well. But overall, the weekly RSI is doing okay. Obviously, I'd like to see us come back down as low as possible before the bull market starts. But hey, if Polygon Matic is going to be bullish, then I guess we're going to be bullish. So what else have we got here? So the volume isn't looking too good. Stochastic is up here in the middle. So I would wait for the stochastic to come back down here, and that's where you want to be buying. And that's pretty much it. Really not a lot to cover on Polygon Matic. Just wait for a retracement if you have a bunch of Matic. If you don't, I would say anywhere from 70 to 75 cents. That's a good entry. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one. Feel free to check out my Patreon with a whole bunch of exclusive content like my buy alerts. We take a look at my portfolio, exclusive Patreon-only podcasts. I take a look at your TA requests. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.